thank you very much for all attending here. It's a privilege to host you here. We've been around at this site for the last 18, 19 years, so for us it's quite normal to come here, but for most of you it's not necessarily. So I don't know, Ron said some people fear coming here. I don't think we are part of that group, so yeah. Just to give you some background on Pop-Up, we believe this is compassion in action. Pop-Up was started in 1999. Alan Platt, who is the leader of Doxodeo, and at one stage he was preaching a lot about a transformed city. And one day in one of these services, a person came to him and said to him, "You're talking a lot about a transformed city, but do you know what the city actually looks like?" And Alan said to him, "I'm not entirely sure." And this person then said, "But can we take you on a tour and show you what this city actually looks like?" Because Doxodeo is in the east of the city, and the inner city was obviously not part of the reference at that stage. And then one Friday night at about 11, from the Sunnyside police station, they went on a tour of the city. And they saw the things in the city, the homelessness, the drug abuse, the prostitution, and all of that. And Alan says, instead of feeling condemnation for the sin of the city, they felt compassion for the brokenness of the city. They then went back to the offices of Doxodeo, and the leadership decided that there was something that they needed to do. Because when God leads you to see something where there is need and you don't answer to that, you're disobedient, and they didn't want to do that. So Karl Werter was sent out to find something where we could, as Doxodeo then, engage in the city. And in the end, he found this premises. It was not looking like it does at the moment. It was in fact in quite a state of disrepair. And after years and significant amounts from funded, we were able to restore this building. Initially, Pop-Up actually started as a shelter. We decided that we wanted to address homelessness and at the same time try and restore people so they can be integrated back into society. But after a couple of years, we realized that this is not going to work. We saw that people were becoming dependent upon Pop-Up, and that was obviously not our intention. So in 2005, we made the decision to close the shelter and focus on skills development. It took us about 6 months to place people in Pop-Up at that stage in the shelter, in other shelters in the city, and then in 2006 we started with skills development. We realized that the lack of skills is one of the main reasons why people obviously remain unemployable, and in the same way, then also in poverty. And we wanted to address that. And obviously poverty then leads to lots of the other social ills that we see in our city. Since 2006 until the end of last year, we've trained just over 7,000 people here, of which the majority has now found employment. So we are fortunate to see the difference that we are making. One of the things that we also pride ourselves on is the fact that people don't really pay for what they receive here. In fact, the most that a person would pay is 450 Rand to attend the skills programs in Pop-Up, which consist of 3 skills there. The first one would be they come to our advice center here at the entrance, and then they are told what Pop-Up is all about, all the services we render, and also the skills that we present. But they also tested for literacy and numeracy. And unfortunately, we found that many of the people coming here are not on this level of literacy and numeracy that we need for them to actually attend a skills program. So we then need to also give them an AET program, which takes about 3 months per program, to skill them to the level that they need to attain for the literacy and numeracy. We also have a life skills program that they start with them, and that entails where they actually for 3 weeks they expose first of all to Christ, because we believe that is the foundation of every person's life, but then also other life skills, some of the things that we actually take for granted from where we come. We need to empower people with some things like conflict resolution, emotional healing. All of those things are often lacking in the society where our people come from. In fact, many of our people come from dysfunctional environments, and that leads to many things. And I read a book the other day which said that 3 things that stand out about people from dysfunctional environments is, the first one is that they don't hope, they don't plan, and they don't dream. And we see it so often in our environment that we live and work, that those are characteristics of our people. So once a person has gone through life skills, they either then enter the AET program for literacy and numeracy, or they go on to a skills program. Now we currently in 3 cities or 3 locations in our country. It's this one in Pretoria, then in Soshanguve, and also in Nelson Mandela Bay in the Eastern Cape. Now this site we mainly use for soft skills, so it's things like home-based care, early childhood development, hospitality and several other programs. And then in Soshanguve we do hard skills. The centre in Nelson Mandela Bay only started last year, and there we're doing mainly life skills, AET, and we're also looking at a computer program there. One of the other things that we also have to deal with is then obviously trying to find a person employment once they completed the program here, and for that we've got a placement program and a placement centre here, which engages with employers there to actually find employment for our people. The last thing on that subject is we believe we empower people with skills, we restore dignity, and we also give them hope and an opportunity to become contributors to our society. Now I want to show you a video now of a person who was in pop-up and who found employment. At pop-up we believe that compassion is not just benevolence. It's actually a tool we can use to change the destinies of people. Now I want to ask you today, wouldn't you partner with us to become a destiny changer for people? In our country we need it desperately to see how people are actually changed and how they're given opportunities. And you can become involved in pop-up simply through legislation that many people are asking questions about in South Africa, but BEE has created opportunities for us where we can actually invest in people to enable them to find employment and create a better future for themselves. We offer 5 scorecard points we can actually give points to businesses. It's on ownership, and then on skills development, where we've got accredited short skills programs that we can actually present at your business. And we also have learnerships and apprenticeships where we can actually take the funding that you have to spend in any area and make sure that they contribute to your business or to another person's business. And then lastly, we also can give points on socioeconomic development and enterprise and supply development. And Wilma is there at the back. Wilma won't just stand. She's our person who's dealing with that mostly. You can ask her, and if you really need to, you can ask me as well. I don't know as much as she does, but she will definitely be able to help you. So I want to really ask you, won't you take hands with us and make a difference in our country? Let's show compassion in a way that people can actually start doing something for themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you for Lifework and for the opportunity to speak to you guys about what we are busy with in the schools. And something that God instilled in our hearts is the whole process of transforming educational environments. And this is something I'm going to tell you a couple of stories of what we are busy with, and also what is our strategy, what we believe we should be doing now currently to infiltrate into schools and also make sure that our future, you'll see our banners on the outside, it says a healthy school will mean we will have a healthy future for our kids. And this is something that we really look forward to. When you approach a school, they are very, kind of suspicious of what's your agenda, what you really want to come and do in our school. But when you start speaking about the health of every single person in that school, you get their attention. And that's something of the strategy that God gave us in the last couple of years how we are approaching schools. We started off in 2010 with a youth worker program where you get young people, young leaders into schools that connect on a one-on-one basis and ministry to the kids. But that started translating into something different that I'm going to explain to you. But firstly, I want to kick off showing you guys a video, telling a bit about the story and some of the testimonies. It's actually giving you quite a decent overview of what we are busy with. So it's going to take 4 minutes and then I'll spend a few more minutes with you. So that gives a bit of a story of what we are busy with. I can keep you busy. This video is originally 12 minutes long, so I'm not going to take that amount of time. But this is basically giving an overview. What is the outcomes that we feel and what we see needs to be addressed in our schools? And when we're talking about a healthy spirituality, obviously we already spoke about that in the video, saying we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to respond to the message of Jesus Christ, as well as develop their relationship in that. And there's obviously within that, there's a couple of processes that's already running, and there's a couple of partners. We believe in partnerships within Trinity, and this is not something that we do by ourselves, but we take on partnerships with organizations like One Hope and Cohen in South Africa, furthering the gospel of Jesus Christ within our schools. And this is giving a bit of a process of One Hope is bringing forward a process that's called the Battlefield of the Mind for teenagers and kids, helping them to cope with the realities of life and understand how God can help you work through that. The One Hope programs, the Cohen programs, basically the City Changers Institute, the Bible curriculums that's been run through there. A couple of inputs that's been put in to reach these outcomes. When we talk about a healthy community, we started talking about the relationships within a school. And when you talk about a healthy relationship, it's going down to romantic relationship. That's obviously where a lot of people's minds go. And that's why we're talking about the community, because a community consists of people, and the health of a community consists of the quality of relationship within that community. So we focus on helping the school, being a school that's effective in their community, and making sure that the relationships within that school is healthy. And the way we do that is we believe to invest into the teachers of every school. The other day I sat with 2 teachers, speaking to them, and I asked them, when we talk about teaching investment, she asked me, what is that? And I asked her, when was the last time somebody asked you what's going on with your dreams, your personal dreams? And the eyes just went big, and she said, it hasn't been 10 years that somebody asked me that question. And we realized if we want to transform our educational environments, we need to spend time with the value informers in the school, the worldview informers in the school. And that's why we want to invest in our teachers. You'll see we're partnering with organizations like Traffic Watch, talking about the human traffic awareness, with what's happening in school, because our schools are the community centers in our city, and that's why we want to make sure it's healthy and that people know about what's going on really in our country and how we can make a difference by training people. Drug and alcohol programs, that's all a couple of programs that we're running within the school to make sure that the relationships are healthy. You'll see we focus on kids and their parents. We want to make sure that the relationship between children and their dads and their mothers are also healthy. That's the reason why we're focusing on that. It's just giving you a few examples. And then when we talk about a healthy purpose, that every child will know that I have a hope and a future going forward. And what we focus on there is Power Check. It's a program run by CCI and Expand. It's a process of helping them develop their planning for their future and career choices and so on, going to study at university. So we want to be intentional in that and develop that. Lead Today is one of the processes from One Hope that's so effective in raising leadership and building into young people as they are leaders. We partner with a school called Edendale School, just outside of the city to the eastern side of the city. And one of the stories since we started the Lead Today process is one of the kids down out never believed in themselves, and within a couple of months running that program, that boy was elected as the head boy of the high school. And the process of that is, it's incredible what you see. You just start developing and investing into the youth. Kids in Ministry is also a program that's focused on helping kids understand their spiritual giftings. So that's basically what we are busy with. Now the big question is, how can people get involved? And I quickly want to skip through this because I'm just running out of time. Is that we started, our strategy is focused on doing a health check within a school. The health check is a process something that was developed through Consulta, in partnership with Consulta, in seeing what is really going on in the school regarding the spirituality, the community, and also the hope for the future that young people have. What's the current reality that people face in the school? And when we have such statistics like that, we can actually use that and going forward and actually address the real needs. Because sometimes you walk into a school and you think you know what's the problem, but the statistics actually show you what really needs to be addressed. And in doing that, we feel that we will be way more effective in bringing transformation in the school. So what we do is we do the health check, we measure the health of the school. The second thing is that together with the school, in partnership with the school, we draw up a health plan where we say, listen here, these are the areas that needs to be addressed. And then we go together and we implement that health plan with a team of role players. Now when I talk about a role player, that involves anybody and everybody that has a concern and a compassion for a school. It might be a business leader, it might be a church leader, it might be a headmaster or a teacher in school, or even a youth worker. Somebody that is in a place where they say, I want to invest in the school and I want to be part of this team and see that this health plan is implemented and effectively implemented within the school. So many business leaders ask me the question, how can we get involved physically? And I always say, as a business leader, you've got a different approach. And when you reach out to a headmaster, they will listen to you differently than they listen to a pastor or a teacher, whatever. Because if you are on the parents' board or whatever that might be, and you come with a suggestion, they are more open to listen to you. Especially when you carry the passion to see the school as an healthy environment. And to be part of that team, you can be part of that team and reaching out to headmasters, investing in them, spending time with them, asking them this question, how can I serve you? What is the needs in your school? I think if you want to get involved, you need to start asking those questions to your headmaster and actually get involved in that. If you need more information or you just want to have a conversation with me afterwards, I'm going to be here and you can connect with me and maybe we can form a small team that's functioning within a school to reach the school and really minister to the needs of that school. So that is okay. I'll tell you about putting your foot in your mouth. One of the great stories that's happening, and I'm just sharing with being involved in the school, the reconciliation God brings between families and people within the school. The other day there was a kid really stressed out because of the financial crisis his father had. And it influenced him to such a degree that his grades started dropping down and everything. And because of programs that's being run in that school, somebody could pick up that there's something wrong and there was a conversation with that child. And just in the act of praying with that kid and spending a bit of time and bringing perspective from the faith side of the reality of that God brings to the situation. Within 1 week, God answered their prayers, and that the child seeing and experiencing the love of God and listening to His prayer and saying, I've got a plan for your life. I've got a plan to bring you up. And now that child can testify about what God is busy in his life and that the story is being told. Through some of the programs, there was a couple of brothers. There's actually 3 brothers in the same school. And because of stuff that happened in the family, all 3 brothers hated one another. It actually went so far that there was a massive fight in the school between the 3 brothers. And it was blood and sweat everywhere. And through the process, the reconciliation in one moment, in one meeting, the kids went to one another and I said, I need to forgive you because I needed to reconcile with you. And the massive amount, the fruit that just comes from that, how that family is functioning in a different way because the 3 brothers was reconciled with one another. And how God's grace and His love and His mercy was just blown into that situation. And when you see that, you realize, listen, yeah, we are busy with not only influencing kids, but we're influencing families and creating a healthy environment where families can function. So that's just someone. There's many stories. There's so many stories. Photos that I can share with you, but I
Next
don't
up,
have
to be continued.
Okay.
So, Bramley Child and Youth Care Centre provides residential care to 41 children between the ages of 5 and 19. And they take care of their emotional, educational, health, and recreational needs. Now, that touches me because I have 3 kids, 12, 7, and 5. You know, I'm already. They sent us a little story about 2 boys. Let's call them Michael and Andreas, because that's my mother's name. And they were living in horrific circumstances with an alcoholic single mother in Eersterust. They came to the community office of child welfare in Eersterust to ask for material assistance. I'm not sure if I missed that, but I think Ruan said that about the boy that lived in our house as well. He took his brother. They were alone and scared. He took that initiative. He took his brother and went to, hey, we need help. Mommy and Papa are not looking after us, or mommy, or maybe Papa, or auntie, So this is good. Okay. The oldest at the time was 12, and the little brother was 5. After a proper investigation of their home circumstances by the social worker, a court case of severe neglect was opened. The 2 boys were found in need of care and protection. So they were placed in Bramley Child and Youth Care Centre. That became their home for the next 8 years. The eldest, Michael, matriculated in 2017 and he left Bramley. During his time there, he developed strong leadership skills. He played Blue Bulls Academy, Craven Week, and completed his schooling. He's now busy with his driver's license and looking into possibly studying. Now, as a mom and a dad, oh, you want to study? Great, I love it. Let's try and say. He doesn't have a mommy and daddy. The younger brother, Andreas, was a prefect at primary school and has now started his high school. He's a talented young boy with a lot of potential, and we are looking at various opportunities for him to develop his skills. What's amazing to me, and I've seen it with JP as well that time, it's these kids that take initiative. It's amazing when my kid's like, oh, I want to watch TV, that's a kid. But these kids have that need, they have that drive. And yeah. Okay. So let's look at what Bramley needs. They need people to be big brothers and big sisters for the kids. That doesn't cost money. It costs you to drive there and to actually invest time. You need to visit them, spend time with them, and support them emotionally. They need tutors to assist with homework and school assignments in the afternoons. And that's why I was standing outside, because I asked, okay, is that Afrikaans? Is that Engels? She says, no, it's also the African languages, Xhosa and Sotho and whatever, because these kids, they're not growing up in English or Afrikaans environment, they're losing their original languages totally. So if you have an ability to speak other languages, please. During school holidays, we have a need to entertain the ones that have no alternative place to go and maybe arrange short outings for them. They have a screening process, so it's not that anybody can just go and take a child and be even more nasty with them. So it's a whole process there behind it, but I'm sure the kids will really appreciate it. Okay. They have 25 girls and 16 boys, mostly primary school children, and they attend about 14 different schools in Pretoria. Some of these for children with special needs. Bramley always needs toiletries, cleaning materials, non-perishable food items. They have maintenance tasks that needs to be done, and they have 3 houses that need to be maintained to improve the quality for the kids. So they have 3 houses with a mom and a dad, and it's around about 17 kids in that house. Okay. We encourage and invite visitors, to come to Bramley and meet the kids, and such appointments can be scheduled with the manager of Bramley. Now I have her details here. If you guys are interested, please come, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Rio. I think it's less intimidating because I don't know who's sitting in front of me. Last year it was my own leadership friends that I had to speak to. But I would like to start off by showing a video. And I said to Ruan, the video was made by one of the Lifeboat leadership businessmen last year. After I spoke, he came and he said he can offer us a videographer and they can make a video of Funanani, and this was the result. So when I actually brought the video, I thought, wow, last year we didn't have a video and this year we do because of Lifeboat leadership. So thank you, Ruan. I'm going to leave it to you. The Lulu that you just saw, her story, during last year she lost her mom. And God knew what was on that little girl's life story because Funanani was there. And our teachers, our social worker, everybody is like a safety net for a Vanolu. And there's many Vanolus out there. And I want to challenge you. You don't have to get involved with Funanani. So I'm not here to ask you for anything for Funanani. But what I am asking you is find the Vanolus in your area and make a difference for that one. You don't have to make a difference for 100 or 1,000. It's overwhelming. And you can do it for one. And that's the challenge. I think compassion moves you for the one. There's many opportunities for involvement. When you ask your staff for a request, they give you a bottle. But there's many opportunities. Anything in the school you can think of, anything in an organization, the clothes you're wearing, the shoes you're wearing, anything that you can think of in a school environment is stuff that you can use. From outings for children to training for staff, many things. And I really want to challenge you, don't pray about where God wants to move you and do that. It shouldn't be us, it just should be somebody that needs God. Thank you.